Everybody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
You know what I find interesting? This is something that I like to talk about every now and again in order to get you guys' feedback on this. Regional hand styles, man, they are pretty much dead at this point. Can we just be honest about that? So let me kind of clear things up for those of you guys who might be new to the topic. A regional hand style is a hand style that is very common within a specific region. Now here's the thing. A regional hand style has to have some kind of world-renowned recognition, because if it's just something you and your friends do, it's not really a regional hand style. It needs to be a little bit more broad than that, a little bit more regional than that. And this style can be created for a variety of reasons. It could just have been something that bloomed up and everybody kind of caught on to it, or it can be something that serves more of a purpose. A great example of regional hand styles would be everyone's favorite, the Philly hand style. By far the most famous and the most popular regional hand style of all. Now we've seen people copy and bite Philly hand styles for ages. I mean, the Philly hand style itself kind of originated from biting, where it started off as somebody's specific hand style that everybody enjoyed, blah 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 blah, people bit it, and now it's a regional based thing. That's actually how a lot of regional hand styles begin. It's exactly that process. It's somewhat of an honor in a weird way, because I know biting is seen as like this taboo thing in graffiti, but if your stuff is so dope that it becomes a regional hand style, that's a really sick honor. Anyway, I digress. This Philly hand style is, you know, so dope to the point where everyone around the world wants to bite it. I mean, I've seen people in China go ahead and try to have Philly hand styles, you know, when they hit me up for a critique, and it's like, I don't think you live in Philly, you know? It's one of those deals. But the internet has made every regional hand style really easy to access. You have people in these different regions who even go as far as to teach their regional hand style, and they do this pretty freely. I mean, we've seen multiple graffiti artists go down this path, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but this really does get away from the regional part of the hand style that made it so special to begin with. So I think as we go down the line, as we kind of go on in the future of graffiti, we'll see less and less regional hand styles, just because the internet makes things so easy in order to adapt and kind of take on in other locations, right? The internet has more so become the region. And this isn't to suggest that we'll see TikTok hand styles and YouTube hand styles and Instagram hand styles. That's not what I mean. But more so, the internet has a broad reach and everybody shares their collective ideas here on the internet. So we won't be seeing new regional hand styles as a result of that. And I've always found this topic very interesting, because I've always stayed away from making Philly hand style tutorial videos, even though I live like right next to Philadelphia. Now the cat's out of the bag. So I mean, if I were to go ahead and talk about how Philly hand styles oftentimes balance the weight of the letter with the negative space management and letter name positioning by tightening both of those things, narrowing down the amount of negative space in order to build up weight for the otherwise thin letter structures, we can go ahead and have that conversation at this point, because I mean, once again, the cat's out of the bag. And that's just for one particular kind of Philly hand style. It's not to encompass all of them. Don't go ahead. If you're watching this video and you want to learn Philly hand styles, don't take that information and just apply it to every Philly hand style and be like, yes, I learned Philly hand styles. You're gonna mess it up. Like, I've always kind of enjoyed the regional styles of different kinds, right? It was once a goal of mine in order to travel the world, and this is something I've publicly said, where I want to travel the world in order to study different regional styles. Nowadays, that's not really necessary at all whatsoever. And that isn't really because I can just go online to see a lot of these regional hand styles, but more so because of the simple fact that there's not going to be any new regional styles. And that was a huge appeal for me, right? A huge appeal was to travel the world in order to see what's next, to see what's brewing in these different regions. Because I can study, I know the fundamentals enough in order to be able to study these regional hand styles by looking at them on the screen, but I wanted to get my hands dirty and actually go to these places, you know, meet the people and have them talk to me face to face, one-on-one. That would have been a blast. That's something I used to dream about doing, and now it just doesn't make any sense. And that's a huge shame. I think what we will end up seeing, though, is the development of already established styles, and obviously things will get pushed forward as far as hand styles, throwaways, and pieces. That's to be expected, but that's a whole different topic about just the progression of styles over time, which typically follows a construction phase followed by a deconstruction phase, and then, you know, that repeats into a wave. But that's once again a whole entire different topic. I don't want to go into a rant because I love that topic, and I could easily rant about that all day and nerd out about it, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about regional styles. How do you feel about it being online and being taught more specifically? That's what I really want to know. And if you don't have any opinions on that, what do you want to see out of graffiti in the future as time goes on? Let me know all that in the comments down below. And dudes, if you want to learn more about graffiti, check out the best How to Do Graffiti playlist anywhere online. It's somewhere. I'm recording these all back to back. I don't know where this thing is. The playlist is somewhere at the top. Go ahead and check it out. And we also published a bunch of books. You can go and check those out in the description down below.